Today, we are reconciling math and scripture. Due to mathematical freedom and redundancy, there are 1,000 ways to define numbers. None of them accommodate other areas of knowledge or faith, such as the Christian scripture. By narrowing down the definition of numbers to those reflecting scripture, we can remove mathematical ambiguity and reach a conversion of logic and faith, thus providing a better foundation to the numerical knowledge. In this video, we argue that the first verses of Genesis can be seen as the introduction of a polarity between light and darkness. We will relate this to the introduction of polarity between the positive numbers of sign plus and the negative numbers of sign minus. We will integrate those signs in the signature of our definition of numbers. Let's first read the passage of Genesis and then watch its mathematical translation. Chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. What is represented here? We present the creation of light by God in Genesis and draw parallels with the definition of numbers. What is God? According to the CTMU, which provides an interpretation of Scripture, God is the identity of light, filled with the infinite potential of the unbounded telesis. It is a definer of the universal gamma grammar, which is applied to all its interior. With this in mind, we can represent God as a sphere, logically distributed to its interior, generating light from unbounded telesis. Although the background of creation, unbounded telesis, could be represented as an infinite rainbow of colors to reflect the infinite potential therein, it is here represented as darkness outside of God's light. We do this to preserve the metaphorical integrity of Scripture. So God as a sphere draws from darkness light, which is his identity as absolute good. Let's watch this passage again. So God, represented as a sphere, is metaphorically hovering over the waters of unbounded telesis, which is infinite potential, which remains outside of God's identity. He then creates light, which is here in yellow. Light is inside of himself, but by holology, God remains represented as a sphere at the center of the screen. Light is the good, which is the identity of God. What does it mean mathematically? We add the real line of numbers to the scene to associate light and God to the numbers. Mathematically, God, carrier of the unbounded telesis, is positioned at 0 and creates the light. Light associated with positive numbers is at its right. The negative shadow of light, namely darkness, is associated with negative numbers at its left. As a result, we have the sign plus, the sign minus, and the sign of the embedded helices plus minus, all integrated in our mathematical signature of numbers. That's it for the mathematical scene related to Genesis. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe, as it can make a big difference. Thank you.